Hey guys, welcome back to my book, My Thoughts Read Along With Me series, where we are reading the first book in my trilogy, Show You No Mercy. Today we are reading chapters 19 and 20, so grab your snacks, grab your drinks, and let's get into it. This is chapter 19. The door jingled and Tanner looked up as he entered the liquor store. The employee's heels pounded the ground like a pissed-off sumo wrestler. She slid a bottle of Moscato onto the counter. Donnie was flirting with the employee. Tanner smirked. "Aren't you a little too young to be ordering alcohol?" "Oh, Lord. Here come Tanner." Donnie sucked his teeth. "Man, get out my face." He picked up his bag of liquor and brushed past Tanner, exiting the store. Tanner followed behind him. "I have a few questions, Donnie Lafayette." "I don't answer to feds." Donnie picked up on his pace. "Stop following me." Tanner caught up with him and stood directly in front and stopped him. "Now what would everyone say if they saw you talking to the police?" Donnie looked around and cleared his throat. He focused his attention on Tanner. "What do you want from me?" "Sage and Avery." Child. Donnie better not snitch, cause he already know how Warren get. Donnie shrugged his shoulders. "I don't know who neither of those people are. Are they male or female?" He raised an eyebrow. "Boy, now you know damn well." "This is how this is gonna go down. We find Sage and Avery at Warren's trap house, and everybody is getting locked up, including you. You then become an accessory to murder and kidnapping. You know how many years is that?" Donnie swallowed hard. "No? Let me enlighten you. You'll spend up to 15 years behind bars, so you can say bye to that liquor, bye to the sex you'll be missing out on, and bye to your college scholarship." God damn! "How do you think your Aunt Paulette is gonna feel knowing that she raised a bunch of criminals?" This is why we don't mess with the police. Because why you gotta throw all of that in his face? No liquor, no sex, no school. I mean, he might be fine with no school, but the no liquor, no sex part, he's a young man. He's out here flinging it wide, spreading it high. How you gonna say that to... If that was me? Oh, I'm snitching. Donnie tugged on his ear and blinked rapidly. Tanner handed him his card and assured him that he wouldn't mention his name if he became his informant. New scene. Donnie held his head down as he entered into the trap. I bet he did. "What the hell took you so damn long?" Warren yelled. "Pass my shit. You probably was over there flirting with the cashier, wasn't you?" He laughed. Donnie did a spin and popped his collar. "Well, you know how I do, and I got the number. The lady just can't resist me." Negro, please. Warren and Donnie heard a loud bang. They jumped up and headed towards the bedroom door. The closer they got, the banging became louder. Warren heard the whispers coming from the bedroom, and Donnie turned the lock on the door. To their surprise, Sage and Avery broke the bars on the window, and Avery jumped out. "Uh-oh! Go get that little bitch," Warren screamed to Donnie. Donnie rushed out of the house to capture Avery. Sage screamed as Warren dragged her by her hair and into the hallway. He loosened up his shoulders and neck as if he was ready for a fight. He pulled out a bag of cocaine and poured it onto the floor next to Sage. "What you waiting for, bitch?" "Wait a minute. I know he ain't about to have her sniff no coke." And how the hell they broke the balls in? You know you gotta be to the point of no return if you are able to break a bar, like a barred up window. You gotta be. Because how? Donnie came back with Avery and sat her down on the sofa. "What the hell you doing?" he asked. He walked up on Warren and shoved him up against the wall. "You going too far." "That part." Warren's eyes grew tight. Donnie turned his back as Warren forced Sage to sniff the coke off the floor. That's just some evil ass shit. He didn't allow her to get up until the floor was clean. After she finished, Warren threw Sage into the basement. Donnie followed behind her, and Warren grabbed his arm and Donnie pulled away from him. As he entered the basement, Sage had white residue on her nose. Donnie handed her a cloth to wipe her face. She closed her eyes and covered her ears as she rocked back and forth. Donnie rubbed his sweaty hands down the front of his pants. "Nora's in Brooklyn," he blurted out. Sage opened her eyes and looked up at him. "She's looking for you and Avery." I might be able to get you and Avery out of here, he whispered. Her eyes were bloodshot red from all the wailing. Are you sure? Wait a minute. I hope he ain't make no deal with Tanner, because he gonna be dead if Warren find out. Yeah, I think I can. I honestly didn't want no parts in this, but I look at you as a little sister, and it wouldn't be right for me to continue to let this happen. Sage closed the space between them, but Donnie moved away. I know you are feeling some type of way right now, but nothing will ever happen between us. You do understand that, right? Good. Set them boundaries. That's people's problem. They too comfortable being up in people's face. Back up. Set boundaries. Sage shook her head and sat down. Warren kicked his feet up on the couch with Avery sitting next to him. He blew smoke in her face and laughed. Donnie returned from upstairs and sent Avery to the basement. Tomorrow, I need you to go to the mall, get an outfit for the little one. I'm taking her to a party tomorrow. Warren smiled. We are now starting chapter 20. The block was packed as the neighborhood organizers thanked everyone for coming out to the annual spring block party. The stream of chatter surrounded the entire block. Kids ran through the crowd of people screaming like they were running from the It Clown. Sarah smacked a mosquito on her arm. Milan smiled and caressed her. Do you think Nora's going to show up? Sarah asked. She knows she can't be here, but I wouldn't be surprised if her stupid ass was somewhere around. Milan kissed Sarah on her forehead. He rubbed on Sarah's shoulder and noticed the tightness, and he gazed into her eyes. Her eyes appeared damp and bright as she looked over Milan's shoulder. He turned around and examined Warren as he walked on the block with his crew. Milan focused his attention on Sarah. I need you to go home and call Nora's burner. You want me to leave? I will not do that, Sarah expressed. She held Milan's arm tightly. Yeah, no. Hell, see, one thing about me, I do not consider myself no ride or die, because I'm not dying for nobody unless it's my mama, my dog, my family, and that maybe some family. But a man, yeah. You put yourself in BS, BS will happen. I don't want no parts. Sarah ain't me, and I ain't Sarah, because I'm getting the fuck up out of there. Well, you told me to leave. Peace. I will call Nora. Hopefully you make it home. I love you. The hell? If anything happens to you, Milan hushed her by kissing her lips. Leave now. He handed her the keys to his black BMW, and she followed his orders without complaining. Everyone knew that the annual block party was a peaceful event. Warren and Milan's crew stood, ready to square off. The tension grew. Parents started searching for their kids as they were playing, oblivious to what was going on around them. What you want to do? One of Milan's soldiers asked. Lay back. We ain't trying to scare these people. But if the nigga acts stupid, it's all systems go, he responded. Yeah! Now, one thing about me, I love some gangster shit. What? That's why Power is one of my favorite shows. I love some gangster shit. What? It's all systems go. But we gonna lay low unless they start something. Okay. Warren danced as the vibration of the music took a hold of him. One of many... Why did I write this? One of the many hoes of Brooklyn gyrated on him, and Donnie was a no-show. Oh, really? Okay. Okay. Oh, we in a new scene. Same chapter, though. The door slamming startled Trigger. He bit his lower lip and gripped between his legs. What? I think he needs to go to the doctor, because throughout this entire book, he has grabbed his crotch 3 times. Yeah. He got the clap. Nora's heels clicked and clacked as she strolled towards him. She had on a black, tight leather jeans that looked almost painted on. Her blouse exposed her bosom just enough to get his attention. She rubbed her hands across her chest. I see you got my call, he smiled as he packed up his toolbox. She touched his hand and they locked eyes. I did. You ready to talk? Nora grabbed a rag and wiped the sweat from his forehead. She tried to unbutton his coveralls, but he stopped her. I did something for you. He escorted her to the back of the shop. She touched her lips and a sudden giddiness consumed her. There was a red and white tablecloth on his office desk with a rose placed in the middle and a basket full of snacks and mini sandwiches. You did this for me? This is a date? Let's just say this is the pre-date to see if you actually would consider a real date. Trigger stroked her arm, leaving a trail of goosebumps on her skin, and pulled out a seat for her to sit. If I do recall, Trigger is much older. But Trigger's what, 50s? Nora's in her 30s? I mean, nah. She looked up at him with his eyes already glued on her. I consider this to be a real date. She took a deep breath. I honestly thought you called me here to give me information on Warren. Trigger rubbed his hands together, still staring at her. I'll take you to him. Yeah, right. Let's go right now, she insisted. He's probably at the annual spring block party. He wouldn't leave them unattended. Trust. Just give me 15 minutes of your time and then we can get out of here. Nora agreed to 10 minutes of her time as much as she enjoyed the attention. She wouldn't let him distract her from what she came to do. The longer they talked, the more distracted she became, and that's exactly what Trigger wanted. I bet he did. Because this is my thing, right? So, if Warren at the block party, Milan at the block party, all the people at the block party, right? So, the reason why the reason why Warren wanted Trigger to take on the day of the block party, because he knew that he was going to leave the trap house. That way, they would be unattended. So now she's distracted by Trigger while she had opportunity to go find Sage and Avery at his trap house while he at the block party. You think you slick? He leaned in and kissed her. They broke the kiss for a moment when Trigger received a call. His face became sharp as the person on the other end spoke. He hung up and kissed her lightly on her temple. He escorted her out of the shop quickly. I got a late night job. I'll text you Warren's address. Lying ass. New scene. We going back to the block party. The weather dropped so quickly and the neighbors began to leave the party. The music continued to blast throughout the block. The other neighbors sat on their stoop, drinking Coronas. Milan stood over the leftovers and filled his plate with potato salad and barbecue chicken. Beautiful night, isn't it? Warren approached him. What type of antagonizing? I would have been like, what? Out of my face. Milan remained silent. He put his plate down and faced him. He cracked his knuckles and stood with his feet inches apart. What you want, nigga? Warren smirked as he took a bite out of a chicken leg. I'm just here to enjoy the festivities. My whole thing with Warren is, boy, you're not tough. You're not. Stop the cap. You're not. I'm not here for the small talk, so what you want to do? Milan stepped closer to him. Warren clenched his jaw and signaled to his soldiers. Bunky walked over with Avery clutched at his side. She trembled next to him. He done brought Avery out the house. Where's Sage? Avery, meet your Uncle Milan. He came to save the day, just like he used to when me and your mom were kids. Warren faced Milan. Ain't that right? You asked me what I wanted? He paused and took another bite of the chicken leg. Tell Nora to meet me at our spot. She'll know where, and to tell her to bring my money. The one she took from my girl and the one from Mickey. Then, and only then, will she see her daughters again. First of all, the money from Mickey wasn't your money. But I kind of understand what he's saying, because it's like, y'all hit a lick together, y'all supposed to split it, and she bounced. And you got arrested and went to prison, and you never got no money. So I get it. And I get the whole Isabella thing, because you're not about to unalive my baby and then take my money too? Oh, yeah. It's clip. Warren walked away, and Bunky followed with Avery. Bunky placed his hand on the top of Avery's ass, and Milan rushed up behind him and pistol whipped him. The neighbors scattered as gunfire sprayed in the air. Milan grabbed Avery to block her from the bullets flying, and she hid under the food table. Warren and Milan's crew exchanged fire. People hid behind trees, tables, and cars. The sirens wailed. Avery pulled up the tablecloth and tried to make a run for it. She was met with a pistol pointed in her direction. The man in front of her was dressed in all black with his sleeves pulled up, exposing the tattoo. Avery was speechless. She never had a gun pointed at her before. She held her hands up and they shook uncontrollably. Her breathing increased. Please, please. Her voice trembled. A bullet flew past her, hitting the man in the arm, and he took off running. Milan grabbed Avery as one of his soldiers pulled up in the van and they pulled off from the scene. Whoo, child! I love me a good shootout. But who was that had a gun to Avery's head? That is the question. Oh, that was the end of chapter 20. I know I said that I was only going to read chapters 19 and 20, but this is literally all we have left, so let's just get to it, okay? This is chapter 21. Milan opened the door to his condo with Avery by his side. She wore a pink Victoria's Secret sweatsuit, half her size. Nora came from the back and her mouth dropped and her eyes bulged. The tears welled up at the sight of Avery. Avery ran to her. As they embraced one another, they fell to the ground. Nora was breathless as she cried for joy. She cleaned Avery's face and looked at her in disbelief. Mommy, he hurt Sage. She needs help. You have to save her. Nora asked Sarah to take Avery to the back so she and Milan could talk. What happened? Warren was at the block party with his people and shit went left. But there was someone else there, almost shot Avery, but I clipped his ass and he took off. I don't think he was with Warren. I don't know who the hell he was. How convenient that nobody know who the hell this man is. Nora took a deep breath and shook her head. We ended this tonight. I was supposed to get an address for Warren, but I didn't. But I texted the number that Paulette gave me to meet up. I'm doing this alone. It started with me and Warren, so it has to end that way. If you need me, just say the word, Milan said. Nora looked at Avery in the bathroom. If anything happens to me, I need you to look out for my girls. Milan and Nora hugged before he closed the door behind her. Whoo, child. Okay, we are still in chapter 21, new scene. The door vibrated from the loud knocks. Paulette opened the door with her rifle in hand. That's what I'm talking about, because don't come to my door banging on it. I need to get me one. She placed it down when she realized it was Warren. He rushed to the kitchen sink and washed his sweaty face. Paulette stood with her hand on her hip and a rifle in the other. Boy, do you know what time it is? Banging on my damn door this late. I got white neighbors, she said, annoyed. She looked over at Warren as he dropped to the floor and pulled his legs to his chest. Punk ass. Warren buried his face between his knees. She placed her rifle on the kitchen counter and sat beside him. Tell me what happened. Paulette placed her arm around him. This wasn't supposed to happen. This wasn't the plan. I messed up. A gut-wrenching sob tore through his chest. Paulette pulled him from the ground and lifted his head. You don't have to pretend to be this person. It is okay. This lifestyle is not for you, and that is what makes you who you are. But you don't understand. This is who I have to be to survive. I have to be like Red. I have to be strong. I have to be a man. That don't make you no man. Paulette sat on the back of her feet with knees to the ground. You are not Red. You are Warren, and you are stronger than you think. She placed her hand under his chin. Fight the demons that are blocking. You can't let them win. I feel like I'm still in a cell. You don't know what happened to me in there, Mom. Oh, poor baby. She held his face. The only cell you are in is your mind. You need to break free of that pain, and tonight you have to make things right with Nora. You can't continue to hold on to that hurt. It will only eat you alive. Clock it. Let go. Let go and let God. Okay? Because my whole thing with revenge is you that pressed that you are willing to basically put your life on the line just to get revenge on somebody, just to get somebody back because of what they did to you. Yeah, sounds about right to me. New scene. Warren and his crew were pacing back and forth in the living room when Donnie approached. He raised his eyebrows when Donnie came bursting through the front door. Nigga, where the hell were you at? Shit popped off and you was nowhere to be found, Warren screamed. Weren't you the same one telling me you ain't want me involved in this? Make up your damn mind. Donnie rolled his eyes. Exactly. Make up your mind. 1 minute you don't want him around. Next minute you talk about why you didn't pull up. What? Warren demanded Donnie to bring Sage upstairs. Sage stood at the bottom of the steps as she waited. Donnie placed his hand on her shoulder, hugging her. She grabbed him so tight that he gasped for air. Warren screamed for Donnie to hurry up. He wiped Sage's nose as sweat formed and led her up the stairs. She stood in the middle of the living room. She looked down at the cheap, all-black Vans that Donnie bought. She zipped her sweater up and down continuously. Everyone remained silent as Warren stood in the center of the room, and the phone rang. Warren glanced at his phone that sat on a coffee table. The number was unknown, but he still answered. His eyebrows squeezed together as the person on the other line spoke. Warren exchanged looks with Sage and tightened his fists and threw his phone across the room. Everyone took a step back as Warren walked towards her. He grabbed her by her hair and tilted her head backwards. "Let's go." Warren turned to face his soldiers. "Stay here. I don't need anyone getting caught up with 5-0. Bucky grabbed him by his arm. "Are you stupid? You know she coming ready. She won't do anything if I have her prized possession right here." He pulled Sage's hair. "Don't worry about me." He warned everyone to leave the trap house because he knew it was only a matter of time before the police showed up. Warren threw Sage in the trunk of his car and sped off. Woo, child! It's getting tense. The car door switched open, and the heat from the parking garage caused Nora to sweat profusely. She leaned against her car door as she waited. It was after midnight, and the parking lot of the shopping mall was deserted. A tear fell from her closed eyes. She opened her eyes and rubbed her face. She put out the joint once she saw the headlights of the car approaching. So she was smoking, child, just like her mama. She secured her Glock into the waist of her jeans. The car pulled up slowly. The windows were tinted so Nora couldn't see the driver. They sat inside the car for a while before stepping out. Warren proceeded to get out of the car. He slammed the door behind him. Nora and Warren made eye contact for the first time in years. Whoo, child, I can't imagine your friend go to prison for something you did. You ain't seen that man in 15 years, and then you see him in these circumstances. It's like my heart would be beating out of my chest because I don't know whether to hug him or kill him. You know? Warren opened the trunk and dragged Sage out. Her hands were secured in front of her with a zip tie. Warren pulled her to the front of the car and forced Sage to sit on the ground. Nora stared at Warren with red and raw eyes. A look of bitterness swept across her face. "You killed my husband?" Nora muttered in a deep-toned voice. "I guess we're even now." No, we're not even." "What?" "We're far from even," Warren admitted. Nora wiped her eyes. "All of this for something you did?" She shook her head. "You son of a bitch." Nora released her gun from her waist. Warren snatched up Sage and wrapped his arm around her neck with the gun in his other hand. He laughed. "I guess you want to lose a kid tonight." The door screeched as Nora opened the car. She pulled out a duffel bag and threw it in front of Sage. Warren first forced Sage to check the money. She emptied the bag. He knew math, and when he looked at that small amount of cash plastered on the ground, he knew it didn't add up. "You think I'm stupid? What the rest of my damn money?" he yelled. "That's the money I took from Isabella. It's all there." "Sage, come here," Nora uttered. Warren held Sage tighter. "You think I give a fuck about some measly $50K? What the money we got from the hit on Mickey?" "Boy, that was so many years ago. You know she ain't got that. Measly $50K. You know what I could do with $50K right now? Shoot, pay my bills." Nora stood firm with her shoulders back and her legs spread. "You talk about money from the hit we did on Mickey? I don't know what happened to it." Warren closed his eyes and nodded his head while he pressed his lips together. A grin spread across his face as he opened his eyes. "You always did have a good poker face." "Mom, just give him what he wants," Sage cried. Warren expressed how much Sage resembled Nora. Nora pleaded for Warren not to hurt her. He brushed Sage's hair with his fully loaded pistol, and he noticed a scar shaped like moon on the back of her neck that resembled his birthmark, but he ignored it. Wait a minute. I'm going to read that again. Warren noticed a scar shaped like a moon on the back of her neck that resembled his birthmark, but he ignored it. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Okay, let's continue. Nora continued to explain there wasn't any money left from the hit because the police confiscated it all, the money and the drugs. The funny part about this whole thing is you thinking I don't know when you're lying. Warren forced Sage to the ground. Get on your knees. He grabbed her hair forcefully and pressed the muzzle into her skull. I was the one that got arrested, so they didn't get shit from you. Sage screamed out for her mother. Nora walked closer with her gun directed at Warren's face. I could get you the money. This is what this whole thing is about? Money? I could get it. Just don't hurt my baby, Nora pleaded. He felt a rush of adrenaline through his body. He released the gun from Sage's head. Sage and Nora let out a breath of relief. Whew. Me too. Warren emptied the magazine, leaving only 3 bullets in the cartridge. He held the gun back to Avery's head. I got 3 bullets in this gun, and the only thing you have to do to save your daughter is answer 3 questions. Child, why he playing games? Okay. He cleared his throat. You tell the truth. I'll turn myself in. You lie. Silence filled the room. Headshot. Child. Some sexy shit right there. The parking lot lights were dim, and the street lights didn't reach, causing darkness. The smell of yesterday's garbage lingered into their nostrils. The sounds of squealing brakes from outside the garage invaded their eardrums. Nora turned her headlights on to get a better view. She stood as she waited for Warren to continue with his questions. What do you want to know? She asked. Warren rested his behind on the hood of his car, and his gun still directed at Sage. What happened to the money from that night? He questioned. Nora raised her eyebrow and gave a glassy stare. I told you, the police took the money. Wrong answer. Nora repeatedly screamed no. Click. Woo! Nora muscles tense. This motherfucker crazy. Sage shut her eyes. With her hands still bounded, she patted herself down. She let out a deep breath when she realized she wasn't shot. Girl, if you were shot, you wouldn't be patting nothing down. Come on now. What the hell is wrong with you? Nora screamed. Warren gripped onto Sage's hair and pulled her back. He smirked at Nora and felt his body temperature rise. You want to lie to me again? Just tell him the freaking truth, Sage screamed. I just want to go home. Mom, please. Come on, like, honestly, at this point, Nora, he got you, girl. Tell the truth. You lose your child. It's up to you. Warren laughed hysterically. Please, Mommy. Tell him the truth, he mimicked. Okay. I haven't got time. Nora let out a hard sigh. The money is gone. I paid for college, my wedding, my home, private school for my fucking kids. All of it. Gone. Done. Finito. Warren rubbed the back of his neck with the gun and tightened his fingers into Sage's hair. Why did you set me up? He asked. That's a good one. That's actually a valid question. Nora gripped her bosom. Her heartbeat was racing. She placed her hand on her hips and looked down. I didn't set you up. You went the wrong way. The cops arrested you. What the fuck you wanted me to do? Warren shoved Sage down and approached Nora. He shoved the gun into her face. What did I want you to do? He screamed. I did the time for the shit you did. You shot Mickey, not me. Warren's finger hovered over the trigger. Drop the gun now. She placed the gun on the hood of her car. Nora held her breath and shut her eyes tightly. Click. I might have underestimated Warren. Because he keep clicking and clicking. You got... Come on now. What's happening? Nora opened her eyes and Sage was staring back at her with feverish eyes. Warren screamed continuously at Nora, reminding her of all the things that he did for her. The more he yelled, the more Nora's face was hit from spit flying out his mouth. Ugh, ew. Nora stood tall, unfazed by Warren's hostility. She continued to make eye contact with Sage. Sage gazed around looking for something, anything to get her out of the zip tie. Nora didn't take her eyes off of her. Sage felt around on the concrete. Her stomach ached as she dug her hands into a muddy puddle. I could imagine. A smile slowly grew on her face when she felt a sharp screw. She began to cut the zip tie using the thread of the screw. The next bullet in this gun is either going to be for you or for her. Warren looked back at Sage and she hid the screw in her hand. Nora created a distance between them once he removed the gun from her face. If killing me is going to make you feel better for the life I took from you, then do it, Nora muttered with her head held high. Stand on business. but I wasn't going to say that. Warren flinched his head back. His stomach fluttered when he glanced at Nora. You finally admit that you're responsible for what happened to me? He questioned. Sirens rang out in the distance, and Nora kept her focus on Warren. You have to stop blaming other people for the shit that happened to you. You didn't have to go with me that night. I didn't put a gun to your head. You made the decision all on your own. She rubbed her burning red eyes. I am done with this back and forth with you. You want to kill me? Do it. Warren stepped back and pointed a gun at Nora's head. Sage used the tip of the screw and released herself from the zip tie. Nora opened her eyes and saw the gun pointed in her direction. Warren's trembling hand was hard to ignore. I knew he was a punk. Sage was covered in dirt when she stood up. She looked as if she hadn't bathed in days. Her hands clenched and unclenched as she stared at Warren pointing his gun at Nora. Nora screamed for Sage to run, and she took off towards the exit, and Warren let off his last shot. The sound of the barrel sliding back caught Warren's attention. Nora placed her handgun under his chin. Oh, what the hell were you thinking? What? Okay. Oh, okay. Nora got the upper hand now. Ooh, what was that? Child, I done got excited. My fan. Hold on. Just a quick intermission. Where them fans at? They here. Okay. Nora, she pistol whipped him. We had a fucking deal. Get in and get out. Wait a minute. Kidnapping my daughters was not a part of the plan. Hold on. I got a headache. He laughed and wiped the blood from his face. Plans change. I'm done following your rules. Every single hit we did, it was always do this and do that. I work on my own terms now. He continued to laugh. Wait a minute. You idiot. All you had to do was make it look like a robbery. Kill Henry and leave. Then I would play the devoted wife, and right now we'd be rolling in dough. What? I bet you're mad you killed Isaac, huh? He chuckled. She pressed the gun against his chin. You think this shit is funny? I'm not going to jail. Just tell me why, he asked. Why what? Nora said. As the tears came, thoughts whirled through his head. How could you let me take the fall? His voice cracked. I love you. He cleared his throat. Loved you. Nora tried to speak, but nothing came out. She stared at the ground as if she was thinking of something to say. He screamed for Nora to tell the truth and wiped his snotty nose. The sheen of sweat formed on his forehead as the police sirens got closer. He glanced around as if he was looking for answers. You call the cops? He asked. Oh my God. Why the fuck would I call the cops? Just tell me why, he pleaded. I call the cops, a voice from a distance said. Nora stared blankly at Donnie and Sage as they crept up behind Warren. Warren and Nora backed up, standing side to side. Oh my God. Nora is a trifling. Oh my God. Okay. Snitch. Nora rolled her eyes. You do know that your ass is going to jail too. I signed a deal. I'm sorry, Warren. I can't go to jail. That detective guy, Nash, said I would end up doing the same amount of years you did. I didn't know what else to do, but I didn't say much because I really don't know what happened with Nora's husband, Donnie said. Whew, child. Where my fan at? Because it's getting a little steamy. It's getting hot. What's going on? I'm getting heated. Okay. Warren grabbed Donnie's collar and headbutted him in the nose. Snitching ass nigga. Now you tough. It's either you tough or you not. Pick one. Pick a struggle. Sage bit her bottom lip as her eyes filled with water. What plan is he talking about, Mom? Please tell me you didn't do what I think you did. Nora's cheeks turned red. Let me explain. You killed my father? I didn't kill your father, Sage, Nora screamed. Nora stepped back from Sage, Donnie, and Warren. I didn't kill your father because he's standing right next to you. Warren heard muffled sounds. He slumped down onto the hood of the car. I know you lie. Okay, this is chapter 23. Warren's mouth opened wide, and he felt his blood pressure rising. He pulled an extra gun out of his waist and aimed it at Nora. Why the hell would you not tell me I had a child? Where are they getting all these guns from? Nora held her eye contact with Warren. He shook his head. Why wouldn't you tell me I had a daughter? What exactly were you going to do behind bars, huh? You might be her dad, but Henry was Sage's father. End of story, Nora yelled. Sage vomited. She wiped the corners of her mouth with her sweater, and she looked up at Nora. Mom, how could you lie to me all these years? Sage, this is not the fucking time for this. Go sit down somewhere, Nora screamed. How you mad at her for being mad at the fact that you didn't tell her that her dad wasn't really her dad and her real dad was in prison because of you? Because you convinced him to go to Mickey and kill your father because he raped your moms. Damn, this is some twisted shit. Donnie stood between them. As much as I would love not to break up this family reunion, Nora, you and Sage need to get out of here before the police get here. Warren trembled as he switched the gun from Nora to Donnie. We supposed to be family and this is how you do me? Nora dragged Sage to the car and drove off. You took shit too far, Donnie shouted. Murder is one thing, but you let Bunky assault your own daughter? That's wild even for you. Let's not forget he gave her cocaine. Okay? Warren hit himself in the head with the gun. I didn't know. I didn't freaking know. That's not my fault. More thoughts swirled around in his head. He dropped to his knees. Maybe I should just end it all. I can't go back to jail. Residue of dried blood stained Donnie's nose. He caught a grip of the gun and yanked it out of Warren's hand. Just trust me when I say you won't go back to jail. Everything is going according to plan. When they arrest you, only answer what they ask. Don't give no extra information. Before they knew it, the parking lot was surrounded with cops, SWAT, and 2 helicopters. The footsteps marching got closer as Warren and Donnie waited patiently. Brown loafers walked through the sea of policemen with their guns up. Tanner signaled for them to put their guns down as Warren placed his hand behind his back willingly. Donnie watched them arrest Warren. His face was shoved to the ground, but he continued to stare at him. An involuntary weeper escaped his lips. He remembered the day when he first was arrested. New scene, same chapter. Nora and Sage walked in silence towards Milan's condo. Sage, please keep this between us, Nora pleaded. Sage let out a loud laugh. To think I was begging God to bring me back to you, and all this time you have lied to my face since the day I was born. You put my biological father behind bars and then plotted and planned the demise of the father who raised me. Whoo, child. Some shit. That'll make somebody turn to a villain for real. You gotta read book 2. I know it sounds bad, but I will explain when you're old enough to understand who I am and why I've done the things I've done. I truly regret. Sage put her hand up to stop Nora from finishing. Mom, Mercy, Nora, whoever the hell you are. Okay. I've been through a lot this past month and a half, and right now I just want to see Avery. You don't have to worry. This stays between us. Nora and Sage entered the condo and were met with hugs from Avery. Sage was introduced to her Uncle Milan and Aunt Sarah. Nora drew in a breath and released it gently. Her skin tingled from pure joy while they ate the food Sarah cooked. Avery's eyes sparkled, and she finally had the joy she once did. Later that night, Nora stood out on the balcony with Sage. How you feeling? First of all, don't come to me asking me how I'm feeling after all the information I just found out, because I'm not feeling quite good. I'm actually upset with you. Why do people do that? They will do you wrong and then come ask you, how are you feeling? I will smack the dog shit out of you right now. That's pretty much how I'm feeling. You need to turn yourself in or they will keep coming after you, Sage said with concern. I plan to tomorrow morning. I just want to spend one last free day with y'all. Nora tried to hug Sage, but she resisted. I deserve that. When I'm gone, you have to look out for Avery. She's weak and won't survive out here. I think I'll be able to do a better job than you. I hope you rot in jail. Sage left her on the balcony. Yikes. This is the last scene. Nora gazed at the police station. Milan, Sarah, Sage, and Avery stood behind her. She turned around and a tremor took over her. Avery was the first to embrace her. I love you, Mommy. I know I only met you for a short time. It was the most exciting, Sarah chuckled. I'll be praying for you. They shared a hug. If something happens to me, I want you to, Nora choked. She squeezed Milan around his waist tightly. Milan assured. Nora and Sage stood face to face. Sage gripped Nora and whispered in her ear, "You're going exactly where you belong." She kissed her on the cheeks. "I love you, Mother." Ooh, that gives me very much, I'm about to become a psychotic bitch. Nora clenched and unclenched her fist. She turned to face the station and made her way towards the front door. She looked up at several video cameras throughout the station. The sounds of police radios squawking frightened her. She pinched the end of her jacket with a deadly grip. She approached the front desk. "My name is Nora Mercy Woods, and I would like to turn myself in." That was the end of book 1 of Show You No Mercy. And I'm ready for book 2. And let me tell y'all, book 2 of Show You No Mercy series is my all-time favorite. Now, I am not sure if I'm going to be doing it on YouTube still, or if I am going to get a Patreon account. I'm still deciding, but I will let you guys know. Tell me what you thought about book 1 of Show You No Mercy series. Drop a comment below. If you are watching this video for the first time, I need you to go back, way back to when I first started the prologue and chapter 1, so you can get all my commentary and my thoughts on my characters and the way that the book went. Okay? I will be back with book 2 soon. I don't know when, but I'll let you know. Also, if you want to read my book, it is available on my website and on Amazon and my TikTok shop. And it is on Audible. So get into it. The Audible is fabulous. It was done by D. Woods. She did an amazing job. So if you are looking to listen to it, it's available. Thanks for watching.